There are many places which are affected all over the world by what gets called climate change, but more loosely we can just refer to as environmental differences that we are noticing on an ongoing basis in our environments. The planet is definitely heating up, but in other places, it's cooling down. And so, quite often, we might encounter narratives in the climate change movement, because that's what it is. It's a political movement, which are telling us certain things at certain times about it getting hotter, most particularly. But really, there's always been environmental change. It is speeding up and slowing down all of the time. And in this period of history, actually what is occurring is that the sun is getting closer to Earth. And when the sun gets closer to Earth, we do see many environmental changes which tend to go in cycles. When the sun comes closer and there is less of a distance between Earth and the sun, we usually experience more solar flares more intensely, more radiation, in addition to anything that might be going on with technology. Some places will heat up, ice will melt, of course, but other things will also dry up and become colder. So environmental change is very much the accent of our times. And this has a knock-on effect. Sea levels tend to rise. There can be the releasing of currents underneath the ocean. And this can then lead to tsunamis and different catastrophes that we hear about in different places, which are actually natural, even though technology can be involved as well. Most of you know about some of the climate engineering, which is being done by humans as well. But we need to remember that it is always nature that decides what actually takes place. Because despite what the instruments say and the readings measure, sometimes things that are predicted to happen, which should happen, still don't. So when we are talking about some of the bigger things that are happening, like, for example, the avalanche that we've just heard about in Switzerland, and also the increased desertification, which is creeping forward more and more in places where, for example, the pandas live, but also on the high plateau at the top of the Himalayas. These things are a result of natural changes, not just man-made changes, including geoengineering. And what's happening is we are heating up inside. And that's often why we have these waves of heat. Our own internal connection with the earth is conducting greater currents of geomagnetic effects, of corona type symptoms. And then we have the effects of technology as well on the outside, which are also affecting us. Nature first, technology second. And that's something I'm going to be saying a lot as we go into the future, because isn't there this trend where we tend to think that technology controls everything and there's nothing we can do? That's a kind of insert that is being put into our minds all the time through the media and everything we come across. Actually, it's the other way round. Nature first, technology second. As humans, we are connected with nature, and as humans, we have control over what happens if we sync with nature and then make decisions about our technology. And this is how also we have some effect on what is going on in our environments and how we interact with our natural surroundings. We will have instruments that can predict ahead that tell us maybe that things are going to happen and we can mitigate against a certain amount of natural disasters. But we also have another early warning system, which is in our body. We can sense and we can feel. And this is where we depart from technology and some of the natural disasters that we don't know about, that don't come up on the instruments, or that do come up on the instruments but maybe happen a little bit sooner or a bit later than what's predicted. All of that can come through our own source connection via the nature's communication that we have inside us. Humans and nature first, technology second.